As part of the American Cities Climate Challenge, we partnered with OUC and the Science Center to bring the Orlando Tiny Greenhouse today. Visitors have an opportunity to engage in a lot of cool interactive features that will be guiding them on how to save money and reduce their environmental impact. Even though this technology has evolved, not everybody can afford EV or solar right now, so there's a lot of other great highlights of low cost and no cost opportunities to save residents money that you'll learn about when you visit the home. And the greenhouse is on wheels, so we're going to be able to take it around the community and have people enjoy it and learn from it in various different areas of our community.
Trailing Thoughts from Katy Way Trail. This trail is so wide. I like to think that Katy was the name of the engineer designing the trail, and that someone came by and said, "Do you really think the trail needs to be 12 feet wide?" And she replied, "It's the Katy Way."
What do you know about Dog Walker Watch?
I think it's a great program where dog walkers like me who are out and about in their neighborhood every day, they're the eyes and ears of the neighborhood, providing an extra set of eyes to the police. If you see something, say something.
It absolutely makes a difference because it will weed out the crime because they know that we're saying hello and greeting and that we've made eye contact and that I see you.
It's easy. You know, you're going to walk your dog anyway. You're going to say hello to your neighbors anyway. You're going to be walking through on a daily basis, so it's just important to contribute back to your community.
Good afternoon and welcome to the June 6th, 2022 meeting of the Orlando City Council. We're going to begin today's proceedings with the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance, and the invocation will be offered by Commissioner Tony Ortiz, and then he'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner.
Dear Lord, we call upon your guidance, wisdom, and discernment to represent your people. We live in trial times where we need tolerance, communication, and a spirit of collaboration in order to provide quality of life to those we represent. Keep us humble and diligent to the needs of our people. Fill our spirits with a never-ending motivation to serve and eagerness to solve the everyday issues that our community confronts. Let us advance as a united community, always having you leading our path. Today, we also want to pray for the families of those that have departed because of COVID, war, health issues, or other reasons, to rest in your presence, especially for Commissioner Sheehan's family, who just lost their mother, Jean Stacy. May the comfort that only you can offer fill their hearts. Dear Lord, you are almighty, but you are also all merciful. Do not look at our inequities, but at our hearts as we want to follow your example in loving and helping others. Please keep us in your path. We ask you this in the precious name of our Lord, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll and make a determination of a quorum? And I will mention that two of our commissioners are attending remotely today, Commissioner Gray and Commissioner Stewart. So when you guys hear somebody answering present, you'll know they're present virtually. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Gray?
Here.
Commissioner Ortiz?
Here.
Commissioner Stewart?
Here.
Commissioner Sheehan? Commissioner Hill?
Here.
Commissioner Burns? Here. Mayor Dyer?
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First item of business is consideration of minutes
So
from the
move.
Second.
workshop agenda review and city council meetings of May the 16th. Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Burns. All in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and so the motion carries. Commissioner Ortiz mentioned today that City Council and our entire community want to send our condolences to Commissioner Sheehan. Her mother, Jean Marie Delfino Sheehan Stacy, passed away earlier today. She'd had a lingering illness, and Commissioner Sheehan was incredibly close with her mother. I've had an opportunity to talk with her over the weekend and then just before this meeting, and I told her that all of our prayers and thoughts and support would be with her. So I want you to keep her in our prayers, and let's just take a moment of silence for her mother. Thank you. So I want to recognize our Congressman, Darren Soto, who's here with us today. And Congressman, I'm going to have you speak in just a few minutes, but I also want to recognize that there are representatives from our other Congress people. So Roxy Santiago and Julian Duque are here also, but I'll pick you up in about 5 minutes if that's okay. Also, you know what, let's give them a hand. I didn't mean to look back. Stand up, Darren. Okay, we have a full chamber today, and it is in large part because we have 8th graders from Orange County Public Schools, the Orange County talent identification program, and they represent the top students in the 8th grade in Orange County Public Schools. And if you guys would all stand up, we would like to recognize you as well. Okay, we are now on awards, presentations, and recognitions, and in just under 2 weeks, we will celebrate Juneteenth. And it's actually great that all the 8th graders are here. Maybe they'll learn something, or maybe they already know what Juneteenth is all about, but it is the recognition of the end of slavery in the United States, which actually came sometime after the end of the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation on June 19th, 1865. So every year gives us an opportunity to celebrate Juneteenth and celebrate our nation's civil rights progress, and also recognize the struggle for equity that still continues with African Americans. So Marshawn Green, Marshawn, where are you? There she comes. I was hoping I wasn't going to have to do this, because you're supposed to give us an overview of the Juneteenth.
Yes, so good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners, everyone in attendance today. When our community celebrates Juneteenth, we're not only recognizing the ending of slavery in America, we're also recognizing our past faults and moving toward a nation more unified. Though the Emancipation Proclamation, as Mayor stated, was signed in 1863, slavery ensued in America until June 19, 1865. Juneteenth has been celebrated since 1866, mostly by Black Americans, yet it's a day worthy of celebration by every American, as it represents a critical turning point in American history, not just Black history. It is the day that we as people finally began to live up to one of the greatest principles we professed: a nation devoted to liberty of all. With that in mind, the City of Orlando staff members who have volunteered their time to be a part of our Juneteenth committee, in partnership with Commissioner Hill and Commissioner Burns' office, have organized a Juneteenth celebration. The event is highlighting this year's national theme of Freedom is Not Free, honoring the past, pressing towards the future. The event is designed to encourage education, empowerment, and upward mobility. The Juneteenth celebration will be held on Saturday, June 18, 2022, at Lake Lorna Dune Park from noon to 5. The celebration will include live music, entertainment, a kids zone, vendor village, food trucks, and a live excerpt of the Fannie Lou Hamer story. Also, the Office of Human Relations is celebrating its 50th anniversary with the unveiling of the Civil Rights Wall of Fame. This event will take place on Friday, June 17th, 1 p.m. in City Hall, second floor. This wall highlights the local civil rights leaders who have made a major contribution to advancing equity and equality in our community. For more information on our Juneteenth events, you all could go to our cityoforlando.gov website. I just want to take this time to thank the members of the Juneteenth Committee for their commitment to creating a meaningful observance of this holiday for our community. And Mayor Dyer, if you could read our Juneteenth proclamation, and then the members of the committee will join you and all commissioners for a photo.
Okay, whereas on January 1st, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, setting in motion the end of slavery in the United States, and whereas it's not until June 19th, 1865, that it was announced to those Americans still enslaved in Texas, quote, "The people are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free." And whereas Juneteenth is the oldest known public celebration of the end of slavery in the United States, celebrating freedom for African Americans and recognizing the strides made through determination, perseverance, education, and greater opportunity. And whereas in our community we acknowledge that the struggle for equality continues, and we recommit to continue the work to ensure that all residents, particularly residents of color, feel equally valued, equally protected, and have the equitable access to opportunities that help them thrive. Now therefore, we, Buddy Dyer, Mayor of the City of Orlando, Jim Gray, Tony Ortiz, Commissioner Robert Stewart, Patty Sheehan, Regina Hill, and Bakari Burns, the City Commissioners of the City of Orlando, do hereby proclaim June 19, 2022 as Juneteenth Day in the City of Orlando.
committee.
On another sad note, this Sunday marks the 6 years since the Pulse tragedy, and we continue to send our love and support to the many other communities that have experienced gun violence and the unthinkable terror that brings. Just the last month, I can't even count. It's hard to remember the number of mass shootings that there have been, but we continue as a city to reach out to each of the communities. In fact, the city attorney worked with Uvalde on a number of issues they had related to both public records and establishing a fund for the victims of that tragedy. So we continue to do what we can to, unfortunately, pass forward the knowledge we gained in dealing with Pulse. And I had an opportunity this week, in fact. I was in Reno with the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and I led a discussion on how cities need to be prepared and how to prepare to deal with gun violence. And it's sad that we need to have that type of discussion rather than the discussion about Juneteenth and how we move our communities forward. But there will obviously be a number of remembrances on this coming Sunday, and I want to remind everybody that we still have the Orlando United Assistance Center that is open, and if people feel like they need some help, that is a place that they can access it. And we want to remember that we're not defined by that one hateful act. We're defined instead by the way that this community responded, and that was with love, compassion, and unity. We need to continue to do that. Last week, Commissioner Hill and I had the launch of the RISE Employment and Training Program in partnership with Career Source. So now this new program that Congressman was funded in part from, well, actually it was funded in whole, but part of our ARPA funds. It provides by appointment in-person assistance to connect residents with job training and employment opportunities, social services, case management, and if you would like to know more about that, you can go to orlando.gov/RISE. Okay, here we are to the best part of the program today. Our congressman is here. The RISE program that I just talked about, we're using ARPA dollars there, and in the next few weeks, we're going to lay out the plan of distribution for the remainder of our ARPA funding, but I can tell you that the vast majority is going to go towards affordable housing and homeless initiatives, because we don't get that as many opportunities to make a significant investment of capital dollars that we have through the ARPA program. So our Commissioner Soto is here, and he is going to tell us about some of that as well as other things that are happening here in Central Florida.
Mayor, Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to be able to address you all today. When I hear about some of the work you're doing, it just shows the connection between what's happening in Washington and right here in our great city. It was just during this term that we voted to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. In fact, Whip Clyburn, that was his bill from South Carolina, and he just recently was in the city of Orlando and has come to other areas of the district. Then when we look at finally passing the National Pulse Memorial, the first of its kind, to designate the memorial to those we lost, and you really see the connection of the work we're doing together. Of course, we in the federal government believe in empowering local governments. Not everybody believes that, but we do. And so I just want to applaud you all for the use so far of American Rescue Plan dollars, as the mayor just mentioned. Everything from in the beginning with CARES Act and ARP for vaccines to housing, which is still one of the biggest challenges throughout the city, throughout your districts, and we're happy to be able to support you all, as well as small business relief. We know during the Great Recession how many small businesses went out of business in places like Cimarron and Commissioner Ortiz's district, or in Paramore or other areas that we were able to hold strong on because of the work you did drawing down these federal funds and using it in a way that was what you saw as best, what you thought as best for local communities. And we want to continue to give you that flexibility with federal funds. We believe in local leadership. We're excited to be able to announce a $1 million budget project that was approved by the Congress for a new Lake Nona Community Center. Commissioner Gray, I know, is here from Scotland on the phone as the voice from God, so we appreciate working with him and with the council in a bipartisan way to bring back this project. I know both Congresswoman Murphy and Congresswoman Demings also have projects that are in other areas of the city. I also want to announce, before we do the formal photo on that, that the new request by the City Council of our office for Poitras Park made our list as well. Another $1 million project that we'll be asking for the 2023 budget. I'll note that 9 out of 10 of our projects last year were all local government requests, and 14 out of 15 of them this year are all local government requests. We trust in the work you're doing and trust in your local visions and want to support you with that. And lastly, I'd be remiss to not talk about a watershed moment in Florida, in Central Florida history, which happened just this past week. It seemed like just yesterday we were working on Senrail together, Mayor, to get the first line going and seeing you on the House floor and then on the Senate floor working some of the funding that we needed, along with so many of you who were in office back then. And we had another one of those moments just this past week. The first nearly $16 million for the Sunshine Corridor, the Sunrail Brightline cooperation. Make no mistake about it, getting this first grant means we are well positioned to get robust federal funding to help us with this project that's going to help so many of our workers who commute to the theme parks to work, so many of our residents, as well as getting our visitors from the airport to our world-class theme park. So I want to thank you all for your leadership, particularly the commission, and to you, Mayor, for getting a lot of folks together that had different ideas at first. Some communities, their hopes were dashed on Wednesday when they didn't get the funding because they didn't come together. Our community showed once again we're able to put our differences aside, make the tough decisions, and come together united. And I want to thank you for that, Mayor, and for the commission for your leadership. And with that, it's an honor to represent the city and to be able to continue to deliver federal funds. And at your discretion, Mayor, if you wouldn't mind joining me, we have a...
I would love to do that, but first, just let me take just a minute to thank you for all the great work that you've done in representing not just Orlando, but Central Florida in general. I know that you guys have new districts, or kind of new districts to run in this time around, and I suspect that they will change again after this next election back to where they probably ought to have been in the beginning. But I know that just adds additional stress to a congressman's life that has to run every 2 years to not know exactly where your district is going to be. So we just appreciate that aspect of what you're going through. But we appreciate your everyday service and thinking about the folks back home and knowing that some of the largesse that the Congress has can be well spent by those who are closest to the people, the local governments that can make decisions on how to allocate a little bit of that money towards projects that are very important to your constituents that live in our city. So thank you for all that work.
Thank you, Mayor. And if we ship up 20 to 30% of our income to Washington every year, we should bring a few of those dollars back to support our community. I think that's something we'd all agree on.
Maybe you guys can catch the congressman outside and get a picture with him. Alana, they didn't know your presentation was next. Okay, so moving on to the agenda. One of the items that we have today is to vote to accept the City of Orlando's 2022 Redistricting Advisory Board's final report and recommended plan for redistricting. And sometimes that process can be very technically complex and have tough choices, but I think our committee had a pretty smooth process. A lot of public input, few little items here and there, but overall a really good process. And today's vote will impact how the governance of Orlando is decided and by exactly who and what districts. So the board vice chair, Alana Brenner, is going to come up and give us an overview of the process and the board's recognition. Alana served as our city clerk for how many years?
11.
For 11 years. So
11 years.
Did this redistricting process from that side and now has done it from the other side.
Believe it or not, that was 7 years ago that I left. So time flies. But I am so
welcome
happy.
back.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back. Mayor and Commissioners, good afternoon. I have the privilege of serving as the Vice Chair for the Redistricting Advisory Board this year, and I have a short presentation for you. But before I do that, if I could go off script and just say a thank you to the city staff team, who were fantastic. They made our job so much easier, and if you don't mind, I'd like to call them all out by name. We had Casey Billings from the City Clerk's Office, Cole Blake, Dwayne Harris, Jamie Kruger, Susan Harris, Megan Barrow, who was a superstar, Beth Krieger, our board secretary, and last but not least, Matt Sauce from the legal department. So they made our job so much better. And then I also, if you don't mind, want to recognize the rest of the board.
Yes,
I think a lot of them are here. So it was a pleasure working with them. They were a very dedicated group of volunteers who worked very hard. From District 1, representing District 1, we had Chuck Holmes. I know he's here somewhere. From District 2, we had Freddie Agrate, who's also here, I believe. And District 3.
Would you guys stand up and make sure we can see you?
There they are.
There we go.
District 3, we had Katie Fleury. I saw her come in. Yep. And District 4, Dan Kirby. I didn't see him. He might be here. From District 5, we had Greg Lee. I know Greg's here. And from District 6, we had Alejandro Pizzini. And I saw him in. We also had Sharon Riley as a mayor's representative and our fearless leader, Roger Chapin, who couldn't be here today. So now on to my presentation. If I can get the things to work, we'll see. So hopefully you can see on your screens. The board was active. We met from February 24th, which happened to be my birthday, our very first meeting, till May 10th of this year. We met 17 times, 6 of which were actually in the district. We went once each to each of the districts. We considered 13 different proposals. 9 of those were created by the board and 4 from members of the public, and those were the ones that met the official criteria for submission. These were the core principles that guided the development of the plan. The district had to be contiguous, nearly equal in population as practicable, and as it turns out, the magic number was 51,262. That was what we were trying to get, and that's based on the 2020 census population of 307,572, divided by 6. We were also looking for them to be compact. We wanted to avoid favoring or disfavoring any political parties. We were drawing district boundaries along streets and normal boundaries, trying to keep neighborhoods together within a district, keeping communities of interest together within a district, and maintaining the core areas of the prior districts. And with that, this is the recommended plan that we are submitting for redistricting. I'll give you a few highlights of the changes. The proposed changes in the southeast area are the Milk District east of Primrose Drive and Lake Underhill going from District 2 to District 4. And that actually united the Milk District, I believe. I think it had been split as of the last redistricting. Conway, Wedgwood Groves, Mariners Village, Bryn Mawr, South Cimarron, Airport North, and Crescent Park were all moved from District 1 to District 2. Oh, I should have hit that first. In the east central area, the proposed changes were the Coytown neighborhood that went from District 4 to District 3. And in the west, southwest area, the Orange Center Boulevard block went from District 6 to 5, I believe. And the Florida Center North block and the Camellia Gardens districts went from 4 to 6. Did I get that right, Megan? Good. Any questions anyone has?
Questions? Okay, Alana,
Seems too
very
simple.
good presentation, and we really do thank you for all the work, because I know you guys put in a lot of hours, and as easy as it looked, I know that it was not that easy, but we certainly appreciate
It was
all
a
the work
privilege.
doing that.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hill.
I just want to say thank you to the board for all your diligent work and time and efforts that you put into these redistricting. So thank you also to Greg Lee, my representative, but all of you all for your efforts. Job well done.
Okay, thank you. And those members, if you guys, I'll give you 30 seconds to take an exit if you would like, or you can stay for the rest of the mayor's update if you would like. Okay, let's stay on the happy side of the ledger. We're going to be voting to award mayor's matching grants today. So there's 14 grants in the second cycle of mayor's matching grants. Thanks to these grants, they'll support our local not-for-profit organizations, schools that provide after-school mentoring programs and increase access to creative arts, education, culture, career exploration, and athletic programs, and our youth programs, and 2 neighborhood organizations that will implement physical improvement projects to beautify their neighborhoods. A lot of the organizations and members are here today, and others I know are watching on live streaming, but those that are here receiving matching grants, if we could stand, please, we'd like to thank you for what you're doing. And I would suggest you guys stay until we vote on the consent agenda. You sure you're getting your money? Okay, I'm just going to highlight 2 other things on consent. One is EDV 10, which is a GMP amendment, and is the initiation of our growth management planning amendment to remove really barriers in the city code to limit where and how affordable housing can be developed. It's one of the most important and pressing issues that we have, and as a city government, we want to do everything that we can to make housing available to everybody in our city. And then the other is a great news item. We always enjoy adding additional green space, and we are near completion of Luminary Green, which is the new public park in Creative Village. And that particular park will be special because if you listen to its name, Luminary Green, we're going to posthumously honor community leaders, or luminaries, and we put together a panel to pick the individuals that we would honor in that fashion. We have our first 12, and there will be additional members that we add through the years, but I think the first 12 are particularly appropriate for this honor and the inaugural class. You can look at the nominations and selection process at orlando.gov/luminary, and we are hopeful that early in the summertime we will have the special dedication and ribbon cutting, and it'll be a very meaningful part of our community. And we've already had some people with some very significant events that they're bringing to Orlando, looking at that particular space as a place to bring their events. So I think that's going to be a place like the front yard over at the Performing Arts Center, that we're going to have a lot of great events that are held there. So with that, we will move on to the consent agenda. And the consent agenda is a number of items that are acted upon through a single voted council. We give each of our council members the opportunity to comment on the consent agenda. And we rotate the order that we do that. And today, Commissioner Ortiz is first up.
Thank you, Mayor. Let me start once again by expressing my condolences to Commissioner Sheehan for her mother's passing. We know that the passing of a mother, there's no words that can fill that gap, but at least you know that your mother, the family, and everybody is going to be in our prayers. Congratulations to the recipients. It's amazing. You guys are the movers or shakers. You guys are the ones making this community what it is, so we really appreciate your input, your efforts, your tireless efforts, so we're very proud of you. On Tuesday, May 17th, my office hosted our Government Academy graduation, so congratulations to all the students who dedicated their time over the course of 12 weeks. To learn more about their government from federal to local branches, I should reinstate the fact that I like to combine forces with the mayor. The mayor has a great academy, Orlando Academy, and we ship all our students to his academy after graduate, and sometimes we steal some of his after they graduate from there. So it was a pleasure having this new group of students join us, and we look forward to hosting our Academia de Gobierno in August. So the first one was in English, the second one is going to be in Spanish. I want to make sure that everybody knows what we're doing. So anyhow, on Saturday, May 21st, I attended the Englewood family prom and had a really great time. I'm not a big dancer anymore. Back in the days, I could move my legs, but not anymore. But that particular day, those kids were teaching me how to do the new and improved line dancing. Can you imagine that? What that is? So it was a lot of fun. So I want to recognize all of the staff at the Englewood Center for putting this together, an amazing event. They're constantly showcasing their dedication to our youth in District 2. I really enjoy learning how they do the different things, the new trends of the new culture in terms of the youth. And I want to congratulate the staff for setting up the stage as a real prom. You know, the way the decoration and everything was great. So congratulations to Alex Temes and Mike Pavelko and all their staff at District 2. And today is a short announcement, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Ortiz. Commissioner Stewart.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the opportunity to share with you. I'm in Houston, Texas at the Rotary International Convention and had the honor of representing my local club as well as my district here in Houston. Let me share a couple quick thoughts. There's so much our city does, especially under your leadership, Mayor, where we are working closely with partners. And today's example of the Mayor's Matching Grant is a good example of our partnerships, and similarly, Rotary is doing that throughout the entire world. So I'm honored to be part of both of those things. As a quick side note, as we arrived in Texas on Saturday morning, our flight was going back to Orlando, and we were greeted with the Special Olympics Texas team that had chartered the flight to go back. So I know the Special Olympics is started up, and I'm so excited about it. Saw the pictures on Facebook, Mayor. Thank you for your leadership on that. But it was really neat seeing all of those athletes as they board the plane, and it just was really reminded us of the inclusiveness of our community. That leads us to the Pulse recognition. As a reminder, that is an important time for our community to come together again, and to be reminded that we need to stop these tragedies throughout the entire country and throughout the world. A couple of quick notes. Let me just say a special thanks to the Redistricting Commission. They met 17 times. Incredible. Alana, thank you so much for what you have done, and my congratulations also go to Roger as the chair. Thank you so much for what you've done. I want to say a special thanks to our District 3 Representative Katie Fleury. I know she's already left, but she just did a yeoman's job on helping to fashion where we are, and I'm so grateful for that. So thank y'all, thank y'all, thank you. I appreciate it. Special thanks to Matt and Beth and all the city staff that made this task much more simple, and I appreciate that. I want to say a special welcome to Gedline Linkaford, I think it's pronounced. I apologize for that if I butchered that. She's a new neighborhood relations coordinator and handling District 3 as one of her responsibilities, and I'm so grateful to have her here. She gets to attend her first community meeting tonight with us and over in College Park Neighborhood Association. Mayor, also as a special thank you for your work with the RISE Employment Center. It was such an honor to be there with you and with Commissioner Hill to see the work that we're doing there and knowing the long-term impact. Taking the American Recovery Act and helping us to employ people, help us to house people, I think is exactly where that funding should go, and I appreciate your leadership in doing that. Last but not least, and probably most important, is that when we as commissioners become involved, engaged in the community, and engaged on this council, we often forget that we make friends with one another, and we share each other's burdens. So I want to send a special condolences out to Patty on the loss of her mother, Jean Marie. It is, regardless of our differences where we see issues, we are people that serve together, and that's a common bond that we have. And when one has a loss, we all have a loss. So my condolences go out to Patty. And that's all that I have, Mayor. Thank you very much for allowing me to attend remotely all the way from Houston, Texas.
Thank you, Commissioner. Move to Commissioner Hill.
Thank you, Mayor Dyer, and good afternoon, everyone. Of course, I echo the sentiments of everybody here at this council, and I'm certain in the city of Orlando, on our longest-serving commissioner, Commissioner Patty Sheehan, and her loss of her dear mother, as Mayor Dyer said, who she was very close to. And I just remember most during COVID, how she really guided her mother through that and kept her safe, and our hearts and prayers are with her and her family. I want to speak on a few things on the agenda. Of course, congratulations to who I call the boots on the ground, is those community organizers that's doing the work, and congratulations on the mayor's matching grant. Mayor Dyer, what a genius piece of legislation this is. Every year when we see this money's going to these very deserving community partners, that's what you are. Also, A3, which is we're going to be doing a feasibility study with that Spire for a respite center there in the Paramore area on Gore, which is now deactivated. We've been talking about it for a while. I'd like to thank city staff, Lisa Portelli, Orrin Henry, Walter Hawkins, Thomas Chapman, and of course, leadership there at Spire. Even though we have a very robust homeless network and funding that the city put in place here in the area, dedicated, especially there in the Paramore area where most of our homeless service providers are, we still have those that have access but can't access those services due to some mental health issues and substance abuse issues, and they're most of our hard to place. So with this feasibility study, we will see how we can activate those 40 beds that they have there as respite care, which I would call triage and stabilize some of our residents there in this corner that are homeless, many that you might see that now are popping up in tents. It's just a respite center, but this is where many of our family members and friends and those that might need to reconnect with their families, that we can treat them and then sustain them, and they become productive residents once again. So I think this is, Mayor Dyer, one of the most important projects that we're going to undertake now as we move not just by housing first, but now housing and treating individuals. So I'm looking forward to what's to come with that very important initiative. And of course, Mayor Dyer stated the Luminary Memorial there at Luminary Park in D1. Thank you to Parks and Rec and all those members that sat on that committee that helped bring this to fruition. And now we're here. A special thanks, he's no longer here. He's in retirement now, but still working, I'm certain. And that's Frank Billingsley, which this was a labor of love, which was the mayor's chief of staff that really had a hands-on component to this Luminary Green. I would like to, and now Mayor gave you the link where you can go and find out more about this project. But some of the folks that are giants there that's passed on, of course, this is memorial towards those that are no longer with us, but has had a strong input on the revitalization and the history of Paramore. And I think I step on the shoulders of these great visionaries and giants. And that was Miss Vicinia Kennedy, that was lovely, called Miss Vinnie, and Mercedes Richardson Clark, which was an educator there. Of course, another educator and AMVITS member of mine, Commissioner Napoleon Ford, the first commissioner of District 5. My principal also, Jones High, Wilbur Sylvester Gary, and Dr. Green, Dr. Ozell Billy Green, that had the first black pharmacy there in Paramore, which was called Green Pharmacy. Mr. Eddie Jackson, Mr. Jackson, I think, was a mortuarium over there, a mortuary person there. And I think the Jackson Center is named after him. And of course, my predecessor in visionary, especially it's so delighting that she's going to be a part of that, because her and Mayor Dyer worked hand in hand there when you guys start talking about Creative Village and it becoming a tech and a incubator for education there. And I'm just glad to join those efforts. And that is Commissioner Daisy W. Lynham and Mr. Harry Sattler, which had the old Sattler Hotel. And I played with his daughter there at Sattler Hotel when I was growing up. Great man. And Reverend Nathaniel Staggers. And of course, Mr. Sonny Vance, which was a barber right there on Paramore and South Street. Used to cut my brother's hair. And see Clifton Tobias Williams. And of course, another educator, Miss Jortley Nell Woodley. And their legacies live on. So thank you to that committee for choosing those folks. Of course, I knew most of them because I grew up in Paramore, but I had nothing to do with the choosing. That was independent of my office. And I look forward to the next cohort that will come and precede them. Don't want to be on that list anytime soon. Just for the pay homage.
So you're saying that because you have to be posthumously nominated.
You got to die first. Just like you got to get to heaven, you got to die first. So I'm not trying to die anytime soon. And with that, in sake of time, I will give you an update on other things to come. I think that one of the most important things I want to talk about what's upcoming is that I've partnered with Indelible. Indelible was over helping us with our rental assistance program with KMPG, did a phenomenal job, and Governor DeSantis has awarded them the Florida contract to help with mortgage assistance by those impacted by COVID, which has been a long time coming. It was for those that dwelled in multifamily. So on Saturday, June 11th at 10 a.m., 12 p.m., they will roll out in the partnership with my office at Grand Avenue Neighborhood Center, which is 800 Grand Street in Orlando, Florida, District 6, 32805, which myself and Commissioner Burns is working on this effort, where they will be helping those that was impacted by COVID throughout the city, not just in District 5 or District 6, but from District 1 throughout District 6, up to $60,000 assistance with those that are in arrearage or that might have some type of future impact due to COVID, that those funds are available. So those that are homeowners, please come out, not just to this seminar. They will be signing homeowners that has been impacted by COVID in some type of way, up to $60,000. I think it's a very, as Senator Soto stated, a watershed moment, Mayor, when we know we have many homeowners that are still reeling from financial impact. And with that, that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Burns.
Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon, fellow commissioners. First, I'd like to just start off by also showing my condolences and expressing my condolences to Commissioner Sheehan and her family for the loss of her mother. You all will remain in my prayers. Also, I'd like to welcome Ms. Jetleen Lacefort, who will also be representing District 6 and the Neighborhood Relations Department. So we're excited about having her join the team and what she will bring, not just to the city, but also to District 6. A couple of weeks ago...
Wave your hand back there so everybody knows who you are.
All right, welcome. A couple of weeks ago, I welcomed the newly appointed Consul General of Brazil, Andre Adembret Carvalho, to Orlando. Had a chance to sit down and chat with him about Brazil, our city beautiful, and the new consulate that will be on Orange Avenue. So we're excited about that partnership. Really looking forward to continue our great partnership with Brazil and the wonderful residents from Brazil who are here in the city of Orlando, many of them which live in District 6. Also joined Mayor Dyer, my colleague Commissioner Hill, for the groundbreaking of the new Legends Academy that will be located in District 6. I'm excited that's for what's on the horizons for Legends, and the next set of leaders from our community will definitely be coming from that school. Legends will have more than 20,000 square foot of educational space for kids in our community, and I can't wait to go back and help them cut the ribbon. The Legends team, led by Dr. Jennifer Porter Smith, is investing over $15 million in this state-of-the-art facility focusing on urban education. So it's going to be exciting, and actually will probably be a destination for others to come to our community to learn how to truly educate our urban students. For Haitian Heritage Month and Haitian Flag Day, my office named Kane Caribbean Kitchen as the District 6 Business of the Month. Kane serves authentic Haitian food and is located on the corner of Kirkman Road and International Drive. So if you're ever out in that area, please stop by and enjoy some of their great food. Last month, I hosted a roundtable with business owners on North I Drive to talk about the amount of growth coming to the area. We had a packed house, and I want to thank Sherry and Jason from EDV for coming and engaging with our business owners and for giving such great presentations. Lastly, before I get to the agenda items, I want to also thank the city staff and the Redistricting Committee for your hard work over the past few months. While it may seem small to some, redrawing district lines for the next 10 years is a major undertaking. Also thanks to Pastor Sharon Riley and Alejandro Pizzini 2 representatives from District 6 who served on the Redistricting Board for their service to our city as well as to District 6. For council items, I just wanted to highlight council item A2 and just say congratulations to all of the recipients of the Mayor's Matching Grant. And again, Mayor Dyer, I appreciate your vision for providing this type of matching opportunities for the nonprofits and community organizations. And there was 3 that I'd just like to highlight: Jones High School Foundation for the great work that they're doing, also the Richmond Heights Homeowners Association, and then So You Want Your Name and Lights Corporation. So congratulations to those 3, but the other recipients and Mayor, that's all I have, and I move approval of the agenda.
Okay, let me give Commissioner Gray a chance.
Oh, okay. Apologize, Commissioner Gray.
I'll take the motion second, but we'll still give Commissioner Gray a chance. Commissioner?
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor, very much. I want to.
We're recording this, Commissioner Gray, to play back.
Apologize for not being there. Kind of a last minute opportunity. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to summarize for Commissioner Gray. He's sympathizing with Commissioner Sheehan, and you can read everything else on his webpage. Right, Commissioner Gray? Okay, thanks so much. Commissioner Hill had one other thing. And Commissioner Gray, I'm not messing with you. You're getting an electronic voice here that's causing everybody to erupt in laughter at your expense. So I thought we might just stop it with what I said, unless you have something you want to type in the what do you call that?
Chat box.
Chat box, yeah. So let me know on that, and we're going to go back to Commissioner Hill for one more thing.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. I omitted saying thank you to the Orlando Magic for their 75th Legacy Project there at Callahan Park, where they restored a basketball court there for those kids, and also their game room, which costs a few $100,000. And we can't do that without our community partners. And also Orlando City Soccer, wanted to say thank you. They're on the agenda today for some temp permitting parking, but what they did with that area right there on the north end of Terry and the south end of Terry, which they're investing their own dollars, Mayor, with the beautification project, but more so where they did environmental cleanup, which also was over $250,000 or so. So just want to say thank you to those community partners for helping us revitalize and restore the Paramore community and being great stewards. Along with Advent Health, they also took part in that community project at Callahan Park. So thank you.
Okay, and we had a motion from Commissioner Burns and a second from Commissioner Ortiz. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I had the 4 here plus the 2 virtual, Madam Clerk. So 6-0. The 2 virtual were yes as well. Okay, with that, so the consent agenda passes, and that means all of the mayor's matching grants are going to be awarded. So talk to Marcia about where your check is. And we will recess for about 30 seconds, so you guys can make your way out if you desire. Okay, Madam Clerk, hearings ordinances, second read, number 1.
Ordinance number 2022-25, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, rezoning certain land generally located east of Narcousie Road, north of State Road 528, and west of the proposed Vista Park development, and comprised of 52.9 acres of land, more or less, from Community Activity Center to planned development in part, and from no city zoning to planned development in part, providing a development plan and special land development regulations of the planned development district, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's error, permit disclaimer, and an effective date.
Actually, I see Commissioner Gray's light up there, so I'm assuming that, Madam Clerk, can we recognize that as the motion?
Second.
Okay. Second by,
Motion to approve.
okay, we got Commissioner Gray's motion. Who was second?
Second.
Who was that, Stewart?
Yes, sir.
We okay with that?
So Mayor, let me get this straight. We're making a motion from Scotland and a second from Houston, Texas.
Yeah. Roy, are we good with that? Roy? Okay, motion and second. Is there anyone for the public that is present in this chamber that would like to speak? Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, 6-0, Madam Clerk. Ordinances, first reading number 1.
Ordinance number 2022-35, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the city's growth management plan to change the future land use map designation for certain land generally located south of Hoffner Avenue, east of South Conway Road, north of Lee Vista Boulevard, and west of South Cimarron Boulevard, comprised of 48.7 acres of land, more or less, from residential medium intensity to industrial in part, conservation to industrial in part, and industrial to conservation in part, changing the property zoning designation from medium intensity development to industrial park with a special plan overlay district in part and general industrial in part, conservation to general industrial in part, general industrial to conservation, all with the aircraft noise overlay district, providing for amendment of the city's official future land use and zoning maps, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's error, permit disclaimer, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we're just going to do that. Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Ortiz. Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify on this matter? Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Move to approve.
Okay. Let's see, number 2, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2022-36, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to commission district boundaries, amending Section 4-1, Chapter 2, Orlando City Charter, to redesignate the boundaries of the city's 6 commission districts, readopting provisions relating to redistricting, providing a schedule of implementation, providing for severability, repeal of conflicting ordinances, codification, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So move.
Okay. Motion is second by Commissioner Ortiz. We had the presentation from Alana during the mayor's discussion. During agenda review, we had a discussion specifically about Barker Park, and it's my understanding that Commissioner Hill and some of the neighborhoods surrounding Barker Park desire to have Barker Park in District 5 rather than District 6. I understand Commissioner Burns is amenable to that, simply Barker Park being moved into the neighboring district, and you both love Barker Park as much as you do, right?
Yeah, so I'll move to amend redistricting ordinance number 2022-36 by modifying the boundaries between District 5 and 6 so that Barker's Park is included in District 5 and conforming the map and geographic description accordingly.
Second.
Okay, amendment on the table. Did you have something, Commissioner?
No, I
Ortiz?
was going to say in the good spirit of what's going on, that the Commissioner,
Yeah, we're good.
Go
All
ahead
right,
and do the second.
is there discussion? All in favor of the motion and of the amendment indicate so by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, the motion on the amendment passes, so we're now on the motion to adopt the map as provided by the committee as amended by the motion that we just had.
So move.
Motion is second. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And so it passes unanimously. Clerk, I believe that's all the official business we have before us today, so if we can get in position to go to general appearances.
So there's a lot of other great highlights of low-cost and no-cost opportunities to save residents money that you'll learn about when you visit the home. And the greenhouse is on wheels, so we're going to be able to take it around the community and have people. All right, we do have one request for a general appearance, and that is from Matthew Zaccarino. Matthew Zaccarino.